Hello, everybody. So, I don't think that I've ever answered this question before, and I want to do it for all my students because this is a top question that I get asked. And the question is, if my state offers it, should I be taking the test online or should I be taking it in person? So, I'm going to give you my pros and cons. I'm going to first tell you my overall opinion. I have taken the test online. I have taken it in person. In general, I usually tell students to take it in person if it's an option, if it's something that is feasible for you time wise and just logistics. I would say take the test in person. Now, that being said, I'm going to talk about the pros and the cons of taking it online and what you should know before you take it online if you choose to go that route. So first, what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask everyone, please hit that like button, hit subscribe, because I'm on a push to 100,000 subscribers. So I want you to be a part of that journey. So please do hit subscribe. I'm going to be posting a lot more videos and I'm going to be answering questions like this. So if you have another question about your real estate exam or getting started in the business, type it down in the comments below. I'd be more than happy to do a video on it or add that to the list of things that I'm going to be doing in the future. So that being said, let's talk about the cons of taking your test online. Now, the one con that I think is the biggest is there's a lot more stress. There's a lot of things that can go wrong. And I'm going to go through some of them. I'm going to go through one that I experienced. Your tech not working. I am pretty techie. Being someone who has been on YouTube, has tutored people across the country, I've tutored thousands of people. I am pretty techie. I have a really techie setup here. I got my lights going on. I got like a whole bunch of stuff. My tech didn't work. I wasn't nervous about the exam. Being someone who teaches this material every single day and literally wrote the textbook, I would say that I'm someone that, as far as the material was concerned, I wasn't nervous. But my tech not working properly and being butt up against the time which my test was going to start and feeling like I was going to potentially miss it or have to reschedule it, and I really didn't know how to fix it, that caused some unexpected nerves and anxiety to occur. And I'm fairly relaxed. So I could imagine if you're a student who finds yourself to be a little more on the anxious side and you have a little more stress involved in the test and you're not as confident in the material as I am. Like I said, I literally wrote the textbook. So it's something that I was pretty confident, but I got pretty nervous. I got really anxious and I got worked up. And I don't think I was in a really great headspace for taking the test. That was something that I think a lot of students have to take into consideration, is that you might have a tech issue that it's going to be on you and your family and your loved ones and people who are with you in that space to help you with. Like if you're taking it at, a workspace, where maybe there's a shared working area, or is there going to be someone there that could help you? If not, is it something that you could, try to work through it yourself? Like I said, I'm pretty techie and I got a little anxious and nervous. Another con, and I think this one's a big one. Now, I did not take the test in this office I'm sitting in. You can see that I have a lot of stuff in the background. There's a lot of things going on. There's a lot of pieces of paper. They will ask to look at and see every single piece of paper, every single thing that's on there. So if you have a messy desk, you have a lot of things going on, you have a lot of stuff in the background, basically getting to the point where you're going to start that test, it's going to be a lot. They're also going to ask to see all around you. So they want to see if someone could come in from there, if someone could come in from there. They might ask you to reposition yourself. That's something that, honestly, that could also be a problem. That could be a problem where you might not even be able to take the test, right? So those are, two big cons right there. So I will tell you what I did to alleviate that situation. As I told you, I didn't take the test right here because I knew that that was something that was going to be an issue. I have a spare bedroom in my home upstairs that has no pictures on it, no anything. I got a foldable table, a power strip, and I got my laptop, and I had nothing else. So literally, I unfolded a table, plopped it down. So there's nothing on the desk, and I knew there was nothing on the desk. And I even laughed with the proctor. I said I did this for this exact reason. I put a foldable table. I got a comfortable chair, and that's where I took my test. So it alleviated a lot of the issues that I might have run into in regards to having a congested workspace. As you can see, I have my soda here. Like this is where I'm working 9 out of 10 times. I have books back here. This is it. This is my chair. And this would have been something that the setup for this, it probably would have been a little more tedious and a little more difficult than I think I was prepared to get into. So that's one of the reasons why I did preemptively say, let me go upstairs to that spare bedroom and set it up the way that I did. Now, if you have the opportunity to do that, where you could kind of get yourself to a point where you basically have a clear space and you're not going to have any distractions or anything around you, and you could literally close the door and nothing's going to happen, no one's going to come in, there's no dogs running across. Like, all those things are things that could potentially disqualify you. Okay? And that's going to be my third con, is there's things that will disqualify you. So things that you can't do, that I found it very difficult. You can't cover your mouth, okay? You can't mouth the questions. So if you're someone that you're sitting there and you're doing practice questions and you're going, can't do that, that could be disqualification. Also, they track your head, okay? And they'll track your eyes. So if you're constantly darting around looking elsewhere, doing that, you could be disqualified. Loud noises, dogs barking, kids screaming, people talking in the background, those could trigger a disqualification. And from what I've heard, now I wasn't disqualified, so I can't tell you what that experience is, but based on the students that I have had that have been disqualified, they don't give you much information. It's basically you're disqualified. The proctor just basically says, test is done, and that's it. I know. Now, let me talk about some pros, okay? So let me talk about some reasons you might want to take it, a test online and at home. I took the test at like midnight. I'm a night owl. It worked. So that's a big plus. I didn't have to go anywhere, and literally right afterwards, I slept. And right before the test, I was in my home having a nice dinner, and it was something that I was really comfortable with. It was a really comfortable environment. Now, I want to add one more con in, though. You can't take a bathroom break. At a testing center, you can take a bathroom break. It's monitored, okay? You can mouth the questions. You can, I'm someone that sometimes I touch my beard. Sometimes I touch my face. I can't do that in a online setting. I could only do that in a in-person setting. So what you need to do is this. I think that going into the online test, if you choose to do that, one, make sure your tech works and make sure you have someone who can help you with your tech. Two, make sure that you're in an area that there are minimal things going on. No papers, no clutter, no sodas, none of that. So what I did with the folding table worked out really well. My setup for the test was basically unfold, plop my laptop on there, surge protector, and it was good to go. I would also make sure, so what I would do is this, I would videotape yourself taking a practice exam, and if you see you're covering your mouth, if you see you're mouthing the questions, I would say consider not doing it there, because that's added stress. I can tell you this, I was very aware of it, I was very cognizant of it. It still caused me to have a little bit of anxiety, because I did find myself mouthing the questions sometimes. I found myself having ADHD. As you can see, I don't sit still. This is one of the reasons I don't go on camera that much. But I thought for this video, this was a great time for me to go on camera, because I think this shows you that, I did struggle with that. That was something that, having my hands moving, fidgeting, just adjusting myself in my seat, I had to be really cognizant of it. Now, here's the thing. I will just say this. They didn't disqualify me. Did I mouth a question or two? Like one, but then I caught myself. And I think the proctor either didn't catch it, the system didn't catch it. Did I touch my chin? Did I touch my face? Yes, there was times when I did that. It didn't disqualify me. Now, I also took Pearson VUE. So I don't know if PSI or if the proctor I had was less strict. But that's something to keep in mind. That's something to think about. So bottom line is this. Do I recommend taking it online? And do I recommend doing the online proctored exam? No. I think there's a lot less stress when you go into the testing center. Is it something that it works for certain people? Yeah. Yeah, it does. I mean, it worked for me. But I knew some of those things going into it. So like what I'm telling you right now with, like I said, the folding table, all those things, I think those will help you. And also knowing if this is going to be something that's a good thing or a bad thing for you. So like, I think videotaping yourself and seeing that could really help you gauge if this is going to be a problem for you. Again, I recommend going into the proctors and be really nice to them. And also, when appropriate, ask them questions in regards to, things that you have to know for the test. I always tell people, check to see if there's going to be a amortization table. Some states use it, some states don't. Or if there's any supplemental material that you need to know of or be aware of when you're in the testing environment. Because it's a situation where they're human. Those proctors at the testing centers have the best of intentions to help you, but sometimes they forget. So this is really kind of turning into some of my best practices for the testing center as well. But yeah, that's what I would do, and try to be respectful of them. I will tell you this. I know that the proctors, some of them, some locations are great. Some really are difficult, and be prepared for that. Be prepared for a situation where it might not be their best morning, and if you're really super anxious and they're not having their best morning, that could be a real recipe for disaster for you. So that's why I try to cut them some slack, ignore it. Just say, I'm going to ignore the proctor, no matter if they're the nicest person in the world or the worst person in the world. So that's something to keep in mind, how their attitude and how their presentation and preparation for you taking the test is going to be, and what kind of mind space that gets you into. So that's kind of it. That's all I have. So hopefully you make a decision on, which one is most appropriate for you. And if you do decide to test online, you now have some best practices that you're like, you know what, I'm going to change my environment. I'm going to see if I could do this. And hopefully that takes away some of that stress, some of that anxiety, so that really the only barrier for you passing the exam is getting that material down. So stay here, because that's what we do here. Remember, hit that like button, hit subscribe, comment down below what you'd like to see next, and I'm going to see everyone real soon.